Good morning, everybody. Waking Up California with Diego Martinez out here talking political news, talking about what's going on in the state of California. What has changed? Superior Court has been making different decisions which are affecting Californians right now, all the way from Roe versus Wade to gun control to California budget. How does that affect the California people? What's in the budget that we should really look for? So we will be discussing all this today here on KMSF DB Radio, Waking Up California with Diego Martinez, and across all social media networks. So if you're out there, come and join us. Tell your friends, Diego Martinez, Waking Up California. Do not miss the show every Thursday morning. It is 10 a.m. and we are going to kick off our show today. California, Gavin Newsom and the state legislature have made a deal on your money, on your tax money, what they call the California budget. Well, what's in this budget that should really surprise any of us? Well, most of us are out there right now spending $6 to $7 per gallon in gasoline. Well, our state legislation and Gavin Newsom has decided to put $9.5 billion set aside so that we, the California people, can actually get basically a kickback or a stimulus package that will help us really offset the cost. But does it really offset the cost? The answer is no. It really doesn't. The program actually works a little different. It has to go through final approvals through the legislation, which they are almost there. They have agreed on a budget. The budget, though, costs the California people more money than what it gives back. Do you guys remember the COVID stimulus package where the President of the United States gave you guys $600? Well, this is kind of like the same idea. So the way this program works is simple. Californians will be getting money back by a tax refund. This is what it is a tax refund that California people will get. Now, the way the program works is simple. Households or single parents that make $75,000 or less will receive $350 per dependent up to $1,000. That's roughly 3 dependents. Well, they're going to give you $350 per dependent one time to offset the cost of living and the high gas prices and the taxes that are killing the California people. Wouldn't it just be easier just to revoke the gas tax for right now, put money back in people's pockets, actually save money at the pump? When you take this in effect, a household that makes $150,000 will also qualify for the same stimulus of $350 per dependent at tax time. But that's just a tax time. Okay, so if you only have one dependent, the state of California is only going to actually pay for 3 tanks of gas. This is another insult of the way our county, our state, and our governor slaps the California people in the face by not protecting our rights, but trying to buy our rights. Is this another way for Gavin Newsom to sway votes come November to become governor for another 4 years? Is this really what we want in office, leading our state? A person who can't see the financial burden that they have cost every single day, the financial burden that has cost the California people to almost go into a recession, where you have to make a tough life decision, whether you put gas in your car or whether you feed your family. This is the kind of legislation that we're allowing. And this isn't just the governor. This is people in the Senate. This is also your assembly people who actually show up not to vote or do not show up to make a vote. Because when you don't show up, it's like you're saying no or you're saying yes. You're agreeing with the bill when you don't show up to vote. Yet we have assemblymen like Adam Gray who just flat out do not show up to vote. These are important votes. These are life decisions that every taxpayer has to make. Yet our assembly people do not show up to vote. Whether you like it or not, show up and put your opinion on there. But when we have the Democratic Party voting to keep the gas tax in place, but they want to insult you by giving you $350. So if you drive a pickup truck, if you drive an SUV, even if you drive a Honda, it is at least $80 for you to fill up your tank. $350 will not go very far. Not only that, in the following year, they're actually going to tax you as income coming in on the $350 that they gave you per dependent. So if you got $1,000, you really got $700. Wouldn't it be better for us to get on the phone, call our legislation, and tell them, please, lower our gas taxes. Get rid of the gas tax. This is not the time. Inflation has gone through the roof, yet nobody seems to want to talk about the price of everything that's going out here. Nobody wants to talk about exactly what is happening in California right now. We're going to get a little bit more here into a few more things that are happening. We're going to talk a little bit about gun control because that's something that's really important. Not as important as the budget of California, because the budget right now is set aside to spend $9.5 billion on a surplus to give people their money back. My question is this: why take their money? Why not cut taxes? Why not help people out at the root of the problem? Our housing has gone through the roof. It is almost impossible for somebody to actually be able to rent a house for under $2,000 a month in the state of California. So here's the catch. Even if you're making $17 an hour, you're only bringing home $3,000. You're supposed to make 3 times the amount of your rent. So if your rent's $2,000, you're supposed to make $6,000. Well, how are you doing that when there isn't a job or an economy that's actually able to support that? So how can you afford rent? Our state and our government has put us in a place of failure. It wants California to fail. Now let me ask this. It's a simple question. All of us here believe that you should go out, you should work, and make as much money as you can. With the state getting involved and wanting to give you money back, is this the beginning of socialism for the state of California? Is California actually crossing the line to a socialism state without anybody really realizing it, because the government has put everything so far out of reach that we are hoping that our legislation and our governor gives us money back? Because that's what it looks like. When a government is willing to give you money back for no reason at all, just because they want to offset the cost of what living is. It's very simple. Cut taxes. Tax everybody in California. Stop with some of the free programs that are unnecessary. Put our budget back in line. And if we have $9.5 billion, why are our taxes so high? Why is the cost of living so high? Why are we still having to pay a tax on our gasoline or propane? That goes further than just the state of California. It goes up to the President of the United States, who has actually figured that when we import oil, it pollutes less than the cool oil that we can actually do here in the United States. We have lost the ability to call it America first. We, the California people and the American people, need to start standing up and saying enough is enough. We have got to be able to come here. We have got to be able to make a living and actually have our families be able to make a living. California, we are going to head towards the first socialism state. We have got to stop that before it gets too far. Let's talk a little bit about Roe versus Wade. Everybody has their opinions. Everybody says it's a good, it's a bad thing. States are going to actually not be able to do abortions. A lot of states right now are putting hard lines on there saying that abortions are illegal in their states. Now, are those states going too far when they're saying that if you go to another state that allows abortions, that you will be prosecuted for murder, even though that law didn't happen in your state? Now, that's an overreach of the Constitution of the United States, because a crime can only be punished on the jurisdiction where it actually happened. I don't agree with it. I actually agree the decision got overturned. I agree that because the decision got overturned, we are protecting more children and more life, and now life is precious. So I agree with the Supreme Court's switch of Roe versus Wade. But at the same time, you have to look at the simple facts. Yes, we did switch it. What does that do for California? We're already talking about California giving people money back for a surplus after they overtaxed you. What will that do to California? Will California become will California become a sanctuary state for abortions? Are California taxpayers going to be responsible to pay for other people from other states to come here and get abortions? And this is why this is so important. All of us are pro-life. I agree. But we have got to have the right boundaries and the right set where the California people do not have to pay for other states, for people from other states to come into California to get abortions. We also have to stop our legislations for allowing abortions to be legal in the state of California. They said it goes to the local level. Does that mean local county? Can a county stand up now and say abortions are no longer legal in our county? But you can't find somebody to go to the next county and get it done. California, this is a time when our world is switching upside down. Roe versus Wade overturned. A great thing for pro-life people. I'm 100% behind it. I am pro-life 100%. I believe that we should adopt. I don't believe that abortions is a way of what you might call birth control. But at the same time, we do not want to be the state that encourages, allows it, or calls it a sanctuary state for abortions. That is one of my biggest concerns right now with the Supreme Court ruling, seeing where Gavin Newsom has been on other important factors such as immigration, making California a sanctuary state for illegal immigrants, which instead of actually making a sanctuary state, why didn't we give the illegal immigrants a work permit and let them and allow them, since we're letting them be here anyways, why not allow them to pay California state taxes and federal taxes where at this point they are no longer living off the California taxpayers but contributing into our country and our state. Max, good morning and welcome on our show. Good to see you again and waking up California. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well, thank you. There's just a behemoth of things that happened last night. The assembly called an emergency session for last night, and Vince Vaughn was one of the ones who stood out. He really stood up, and he said, one of the things he said on this SCA 10 is that, who's going to pay for it? The taxpayers. And then he said, well, if you support it, then you should pay for it. But if you don't support it, you shouldn't have to pay for it. And that's where I really agree with him, is that if you don't support it, then you're not morally obligated to pay for that.
Well, you would figure in a free society, in a republic, that would be correct. But look at where California's headed. We were just talking right before you hopped on. I know you heard a little bit about Roe versus Wade and my concerns. These are my concerns. Is California going to become a sanctuary state for abortions? We know as long as Gavin Newsom's in office, this is as left as you can get it. Now, one of my biggest surprises about Roe versus Wade that the Supreme Court said is up to each individual state which way they want to handle this. They didn't say abortions were illegal. They just said it wasn't going to be covered or protected by Roe versus Wade anymore, right?
Yeah.
Why is the left protesting? What are they protesting? I mean,
I don't know.
in California, what are you protesting? Because California has not taken a stand. California, basically, Wade versus Roe is still going. Actually, what scares me about California is that we're going to be a sanctuary state for this, right? So why are people out there protesting right now?
No idea. They're just misguided for sure. That's all I gotta say.
Now, does it scare you that California might be a sanctuary state for abortions now?
Well, I think California shouldn't be concerned about people in other states. We should be taking care of people in our own state. So I think with regards to that, it's California first. I don't think Gavin Newsom is California first, because if you were California first, you would have already seen relief of in your gas prices. You would have already seen some relief economically, but we haven't seen any of that because none of that is actually included in the budget.
Well,
so apparently, progressive agendas and expansion for abortions, that's all included in the budget, but no relief is included in the budget. And that's what should bother each and every individual Californian the most.
actually, Max, they actually set aside $9.5 billion for a economic relief on the California people because of how high the economy has gone and how high the gases are. It is a joke that they want to give you $350, okay? $350 if you make $75,000 or less a year. And now if you're a couple and you each make 75,000, then it's 150,000, but you only get $350 per dependent. So let's just take the average American family. They're going to get $600, right? 700.
Because they have two dependents usually, yeah.
That is 6 tanks of gas.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That is exactly what it is. 6 tanks of gas is what they're giving you to slap you in the face and say, don't worry about this. But is that the beginning of socialism in the state of California? Is that the beginning? Because now we're dependent on the government to give us back our money because they tax us too much. Oh, now you're going to give me some of that money back, like a tax refund.
We had a $97.5 billion surplus, and $9.5 billion is enough to them? That's just ridiculous. How come it can't be like, I mean, if it were upwards of maybe $20 billion, everyone would be getting double. And so it's like they don't want to send us relief. You know, it's like Congress, like during the pandemic, like they negotiated and they treated us like rats. They're like, you know, what if we give them $1,400? Oh no, we're gonna only give them $600. And that's what they're doing here in the state is like, oh yeah, let's give everyone $1,000. Let's give everyone $400 in gas relief. Oh no, never mind. Sorry, it's only $300, people.
Well, here's the catch, Max. When you're talking about giving people back their money, it's simple. You're doing a budget cut. Cut the stupid taxes that are unnecessary. Cut the gas tax. Start drilling off the offshores of California, create our own petroleum so we can actually sell it. How about securing our borders and stop giving our money to people who don't deserve it? How about we take care of California people and California taxpayers before anybody else instead of after everybody else? California needs to be an example and California needs to stand up. November's elections are coming and you better get some Republicans in office. Like them or not, we need conservative people in office. We have 2 years, and 2 years we could change the conservatives that we don't like. But if we do not take over the House, who is going to do the checks and balances? Because the people we have in office right now aren't doing their job. We need new blood in Congress. We need new blood in the California State Senate. We need new blood in California Assembly. We have got to stop worrying about party lines and start getting the right people in office, Max. We are dying and we are killing ourselves. People are leaving California by the truckloads. Gavin Newsom is the best real estate agent for the state of Texas, Ohio, Oklahoma. Why can't he be the best governor for the state of California and actually take care of the California people? People forgot that Gavin Newsom got a $7 million house. Give it to him, and they claim it was $3 million, and they never claimed taxes on it, yet we're okay with this. If you're a Democrat, if you're a Democrat, if you're a libertarian, if you're a California worker, you should be upset that we have got to pay the highest taxes and our commander-in-chief steals from us, was right underneath the carpet, and nobody talks about it. Nobody cares. Nobody seems to care that this man does not pay taxes, but yet wants to give our free tax money to other people. Where is America and where are Californians and why are you not waking up?
It's ridiculous. I mean, Californians, they're in a slumber. Obviously, Gavin Newsom, he never claimed, and he also received gifts from lobbyists. He received tons of money from lobbyists, so when has he ever claimed that on his taxes?
Well, the problem is that
tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands.
Okay, so you got guys like Kevin Kiley, who's a lawyer. Sue Gavin Newsom for mail-in ballots after he voted yes. You know, if I was in District 3, I still vote for Kevin Kiley because we need conservatives in Congress. But why aren't you suing Gavin Newsom for fraud? Why are we at the Supreme Court level suing the governor for fraud on the California people? Because that's exactly what's going on. He has defrauded the American people with the federal state tax, and he has defrauded California people with the state taxes that we have to pay for.
I feel sorry for my uncle because my uncle loves Newsom. He's voted for Newsom, and he's a CPA. So I think he's just very misguided. Like, dude, you're a CPA and you still like the guy who cheated on his taxes. Okay.
Well, look at what happened with the state workers during COVID-19. Everybody was supposed to take a pay cut. What did Gavin Newsom? Oh, I forgot to tell him I was taking a pay cut? Yeah, you never took it. Yeah, you're still making more money now than anybody else. Did you give the correctional officers back their 10%? No, you didn't. You took it from them and you haven't given it back. Yeah, you want to throw away our surplus. You want to give back and insult the California people that voted your ass in office? This has got to stop, Max. And I don't know how we're going to get the word out to get people to stop voting for this guy. We have got to get him out of office, and we have got to get him out of office now. We cannot keep letting this continue.
Yeah, well, they put him up against just about probably one of the weakest candidates that they could have picked. So I think that's the problem for me. And did you see my video confronting Brian Daly? The next time I see him, I'm going to confront him about what happened when he didn't vote on Senate Bill 866 on the Senate floor. He had a so-called excused absence. Now, I don't know what you call an excused absence when you should have been there to vote no on one of the most important bills in California. I don't care if it passed by even a narrow margin. You should have still been there to vote no.
You know, the worst part is we're all going to vote for him because he's a Republican. Why is it that we cannot get grassroots candidates and people who actually want to change California in those places? Jenny LaRue, I will give her this. She came in the top 3. Congratulations, Jenny. She is a grassroots candidate who has worked her butt off for the last 3 years trying to get her name out there. She did a great job, but she was still not where she needed to be. You know, but you have guys like Anthony Trevino, Daniel Mercury. I could go down the list that were, and they didn't even get enough votes to get past 1%. It is tough. We have got to change the way we're voting, folks. I can't say that enough. Stop looking at how much money somebody has in their campaign account, because that doesn't really matter. We have got to get to root candidates and start spreading the word about them. The problem is nobody's excited about elections anymore, Max. Everybody believes the same thing. How many times do we do shows and we hear the same thing? Dominion, my vote's stolen. They don't count. Why should I vote? This is why you should vote, folks, because 20% of the people showed up to vote in the last June 7th election. 20% of all people registered showed up to vote. That's it. Well, you know how they're stealing your vote? They just did. You gave it to them. They didn't have to steal it. You don't go out and vote. It doesn't matter. Yeah, we want to sit here and keep complaining time and time again about why are we not changing? Why aren't things different? Guess what? Because you don't get off your butt and go vote. That is why things aren't changing. Because you believe that your voice isn't heard. Because you actually believe that the elections are stolen instead of believing that your vote is what's stolen. They're stealing the elections by stealing your vote, by keeping you at home, by not having you vote because you don't know who you're voting for. That's why. That's how they steal it. Because right before election, what do you hear? Dominion, stolen votes. Nobody wants to go out and vote. Why should we vote? It's not worth anything. Guess what, folks? Go outside, look at your gas prices. Go to the grocery store today and buy one bag for $100. Go actually and try to rent a house at $2,500, $3,000 a month when you only make $2,000 a month. And that's gross. That's not even net. You can't even afford to live in the state of California. Guess what? That might be why you want to go out and vote. You might want to go out and vote so you can stop stupid bills like SB 866 that allow your 15-year-old now to make medical decisions and are taking your parental rights away. This is why you might want to go out and vote. At least put your name down. Vote. Because when you vote, you can at least say, guess what? I did my part. But when you didn't vote and you complain about, oh, Gavin Newsom is still governor. Oh, Joe Biden's still the president? I mean, if you do not go out and vote, you cannot do it. And if you take a man and you don't vote for him because of his stupid tweets, turn off Twitter. But put a person who can do the job and is best for the job. I have hired thousands of people when I was in the auto industry. Didn't mean I wanted to go have a beer with them after work. Didn't mean I even wanted to hang out with them after work. But it meant I respect the job that they can do. Because when you're at work and being a politician's a job, if you can do the job, I'm going to respect that you can do the job. Doesn't mean I like you, but it means that you are the best person I have for that job at the moment. And right now, America's suffering. We have a clown as president of the United States and Santa's helper as the vice president. We do not have leadership in this country at this moment. And every other country is taking advantage and laughing at the American people right now. A once superpower is now the weakest power in the world. When we have our own oil that we can drill, yeah, we'll rather go to Ukraine, Jordan, anywhere else and get their oil and pay for it. Because guess what? I guess their oil doesn't pollute as much as American oil. America first, starts offshore drilling in the state of California. Make California great. Make it the Golden State once again. And guess what? That is a grasp. We can do this. We can do this. We just have to change the way we vote. And we are actually having to go and find people that want to run for office, that really want to do a better job. Stop voting career politicians and stop, because that is what's killing this country. Everybody who's been in office for the last 8 years has helped kill this country. Everybody who's been in office for the last 2 years has helped kill and get us to where we are at today. Republican or Democrat, both parties have failed the American people, America and California. It's time we take our country and our state back, and we need your help. We need you to go out and vote on November 7th and vote Republicans into office, no matter what district you're in. If they've been in office, re-vote them in. We'll get them out in the next cycle once we get a better Republican to replace them. Stop being afraid. Stop saying that your votes are stolen. Stop even talking about stolen elections. Talking about stolen elections is like talking about spilled milk that hasn't spilled. It's already spilled. You can't drink it. There's nothing we can do about what happened with the presidential election. But there is something we can do in the future, and that's all of us stop talking about it and go out and get your neighbors, get your friends, get your cousins, get your uncles to go out and vote. California, we are in a dire need right now, especially for anybody out there. And I want you to listen to this. This is very important that anybody like myself or anybody else who believes in the Second Amendment, your privacy has been breached. Let me say that again. Your privacy has been breached. DOJ is making public how many guns you have, what you have, where you live, your driver's license, everything. They are making it so criminals will go to your house and steal your guns. Because guess what? Everybody in the world is going to know what you own, how much of it you own, how much ammo you have. The worst part, they're going to know where you live. They're going to know everything about you. California, this is a time. And let me say this. We do not sign a privacy act when we go buy a firearm. We don't. You ever notice that? If you're a gun owner like myself, we realized we never signed a privacy act. When we go buy ammo now, that they want to do a stupid background check. It's not a privacy act saying that they cannot disclose this. Guess what? How about we start this? Disclose my information. Everybody knows I carry a gun now. It's no longer concealed carry. What was the purpose of concealed carry? Then nobody knew you had a firearm, right? That was the whole purpose of it. So why can't I open carry? You know I have one. Why can I not open carry? I think we need to make a movement to sue the state of California, because they're going to say it's not your right or privacy. There is no Privacy Act. People can know. Then that defeats the purpose of carry concealed. Carry concealed is so nobody knows who has a gun. Right? They say if people actually know you have a gun, they're going to start something with you. Well, you just gave everybody our information. Now, why can I not open carry? Because you have given up all my freedoms, all my privacies, and you have told everybody exactly what I have in my house. Guess what? Now my house became a target for anybody who wants to steal a firearm. Think about this, Max. In California, Tommy guns are illegal. They've been illegal since about 2014. Before that, you could actually access a rifle in the state of California without having to register it, right? Let's say somebody really wants one and you can't get it, but I go on the registry list and I see that you have one. We're going to attack your house to get what you have. This is a mistake by the DOJ and the California Attorney General. He has put lives in danger and he has disclosed violence is going to happen. They want the hardworking, honest gun owner to commit a crime because we are going to defend our grounds. We're going to defend our homes when somebody comes and endangers us or our families. Guess what? We, as Americans and California gun owners, we just became a target, not only of criminals, but of the DOJ and anybody else, and especially the Attorney General. We need to go back to a constitutional carry in the state of California, and now is the time that we push this issue under the circumstances that they have given up our privacies and people know that you carry a gun.
This accidental expose is just, it's mind-boggling because, you know, we're strong, we're supposed to be a strong economy, we're supposed to be like the #1 state in the union for a strong economy. And we're supposed to be a superpower, but yet we let this privacy data breach, we let this happen under our watch, under our noses. And the Attorney General, as you said, Rob Bonta, has failed miserably at protecting California families and the California people.
We need to get rid of him. We have got to vote him out of office. We have got to get somebody in office that will actually protect people, will actually stand by the law. The law states, carry concealed. You're supposed to have your gun concealed so nobody knows you have it. What's the point of that now when the whole world and everybody knows who owns a gun? It wasn't an accident. They did it to provoke California gun owners. They also did it so California gun owners will not want to be gun owners because now their information's out. You know what? I say forget it. You want my information, I'll give it to you. But guess what? I want to actually be able to open carry now. Now we need to push that agenda. Why? Because there's no more secrecy about it. What's the need of carry concealed? You know I have it. Let's go out and let's make a stink and let's stand together and united for constitutional carry in the state of California under the grounds that our privacy has been breached, our lives have been put in danger already by the Attorney General of California by releasing our personal information.
Just bothers me so much that this even happened, this data breach. I mean, I heard about it yesterday in the news, and a bunch of Californians are outraged by this, and you know what, they should be, and that shows you who you need to vote for, you know? Now the general's coming up on November 8th, you're going to have 2 candidates on the ballot. It's usually going to be, you know, a Democrat and a Republican, and you're saying, you know what, vote the Republican, and if you feel like there's a better Republican candidate next time around, then you vote for them in the primaries. So, but that's why it's important to vote for them in the primaries, because people don't vote in the primaries, and then they want to complain that they don't like the candidate that's up on the ballot in the general. So, like, they're like, forget the primary, I'll just wait till the general, and then it's the candidate they don't want that's up in the general. So it's like, that's why you need to vote in the primaries, so then you can get the candidate you want up in the general.
Well, what we're going to do is this. We're actually going to start something here next week. We're going to start a coalition to start fighting the state of California so that we can go to the Second Amendment, which is constitutional carry, on the basis and the grounds that they have actually already taken your privacy away. They have given it up. Everybody knows you have a firearm, so why can't you display it now? Because they were worried about danger. Now, most of us who own firearms are in danger of somebody hurting us, even if we have or don't have a CCW, because they know that we own firearms. So I'm going to ask the California people to actually get together and let's do a California lawsuit against the Attorney General, allowing us to actually do,
A class action
is basically what it is. Class action lawsuit stating that we want the right and the freedom for our constitutional right to constitutional carry in the state of California under the grounds that everybody already knows that we have a firearm. You go on this website, you can see it. My privacy's already been taken away. What is the point of a carry concealed anymore? You just took it away from me. So because you took it away from me, you put me and my family in danger.
You know what? I'll call Eric early and I'll see if he's up to start one.
Call Eric, call Kevin Kiley. Let's see how Republican these guys really are. Let's see how much constitutional these guys really are. Because if they're constitutionals, they're going to stand with us. If they're not, we're going to find a constitutional lawyer that will stand with us, and we will take this all the way to the Supreme Court because our rights have just been trampled, and I'm going to lead this. I am going to ask everybody out there to help me, and let's lead this charge. I'm going to figure out how to put it together. I'll figure out how to put some fundraising together. I'm going to talk to the NRA and the California Gun Owners Association because it is time that we stand together and united because our rights and our freedoms and our safety are getting challenged today on our gun rights. California, we need to be an open carry state under the Second Amendment of the United States of America. We have got to stand. And our rights shall not be infringed. It is clearly stated. Let's call Eric Elderly. I call him too. I got his number. Let's find out where he stands. Let's find out if he's actually a real constitutionalist and wants to stand and fight for the California people. That's what we need to do. We need to make this work. We need to stand together. That's all the guys are in the militias, all the patriots out there that believe in the Second Amendment. Let's come together. Let's get this in the law. Let's make sure that we, as Californians, can open carry. They open the door. Let's kick the door in and get our rights back.
Yes, I agree. Thank you for that. I mean, we gotta get our names out there. I mean, I even want Rob Bonta and Gavin Newsom to know who I am because I'm going to be fighting for people. And that's why I'm going to call these people. You know, I could call Mark Moisier. He's a constitutional attorney, but he's running right now. So
you know what? That's the best guy to call. The guy who's running. Because if he can't do it now, why is he going to do it in office? Let's find out where these guys stand.
You know what? Yeah, that's a good idea. You know what? Yeah. You know what? I actually had a good idea and I didn't even realize it.
He's running. He's an attorney. Mark Mosher, do you really want to be Attorney General of California? This is a great opportunity to stand.
Yeah. Well, does he want to be U.S. Senator? And then Nathan Hochman, he's running for Attorney General of California. So let's see if he wants to get involved in this or not. I'm sure you're aware of who Nathan Hochman is, right? He's the Republican on the candidate on the ballot against Bonta. Let's see if he's willing to stand for us.
I do a live with this guy and see who wants to stand for the Second Amendment. Let's do it. Let's get and let's find out who. Next week we'll meet again here Thursday morning. Let's call it 10 a.m. Waking Up California. We'll do a Q&A. If anybody out there does a podcast, let's see who we can get on this podcast next week. Let's stand together. Let's start a coalition for American freedom and California freedom to the Second Amendment, because what the Attorney General did is BS. He has put you, me, and every other gun owner in danger. Just imagine this, Max. Your family's home alone. You're not there. Somebody breaks in because they know you have guns, and now with California laws, your wife can't touch your guns because that's against the law, because they know that you have a gun there that they want.
No, let's make self-defense legal again in the state of California. How does that sound?
Well, let's make self-defense and trespassing your house where you can actually protect your house and not give it to the criminals. Let's also make the Second Amendment legal. It's time, folks. It's time America, it's time California stands up. Look at the states that do gun controls. They have the worst crime ever and the biggest gun violence of all times. Look at Chicago. Look at Chicago, folks. Yeah, look at open carry states, how low their crime is. Why? Because people don't dare mess with somebody who has the tools to defend themselves. So California, I'm asking you, stand with me. Let's get the Second Amendment back alive in California. This is our time to do it, and we need to stand together to get there. We need to sue the Attorney General and the governor of the state of California for their BS laws and putting us in danger instead of worrying about public safety.
Yes.
So call Mark Mosher, call Elderly, let's call some people, let's find out who is willing to stand, because these people are running for office. If they can't stand with us right now, how the hell are they going to stand up for us when they get in office?
Yeah, that's true, because it's an even bigger position. So I was going to say is that, like, you know, you go to Texas and there's someone pointing a gun at a cashier in a store, then 5 other people are going to point a gun at them.
Yeah.
It's like they're going to drop the gun. But if you go in California and you point a gun at a cashier, they're just going to start opening fire because no one else has a gun.
Well, the problem is this.
Pew, pew, pew.
California voted for the death penalty to stay intact. Gavin Newsom's trying to release everybody who's on death row. He's releasing the death penalty. Now, here's my stand on that, and most of you may not agree on it. I do not believe that a person who killed a cashier at the 7-Eleven for $200 coldly, I don't care if you're on drugs or not, you have zero remorse for that person's life, family, or how it affected everybody else. Yet 20 years later, you have remorse and you deserve to live? No, you don't. You deserve the same punishment that you gave that cashier without a second or a thought or an opinion of what had happened. Your only remorse is that you got caught and that you've been spending time in prison, which you spend way too much time of California taxpayers' money anyways.
It's interesting because when it comes to candidates, Californians vote in Democrats, but when it comes to propositions, Californians vote in conservative like policies.
California, we need to stand together. And this isn't about party lines anymore. This is about our constitutional freedom rights that the Constitution of the United States was based on. Democrats, Republicans, Libertarians, Tea Party people signed the Declaration of Independence. They also signed the Constitution of the United States. Yet we do not want to stand and fight for it. When? If it's not now, when? How much more are we going to lose before we stand up and want our freedom back? Our freedom. We're talking about freedom.
Yeah. No, I know people are outraged by everything that's going on, and like you said, with the death penalty, Newsom wanted to get the 700 and something prisoners. I think it's like 737 prisoners off of death row. I know people have said it's a figure closer to 400, but I think it's actually higher, much higher than that. So, like you said, he's trying to clear them of all their, penalty. He said. I think what's interesting when this happened is he said he had a moral obligation to do it. He had a moral obligation to save their lives.
He has a moral obligation to stand by the families who have lost a loved one that did not get justice. Justice shall be served. But you cannot tell me that taking people off death row who had zero intentions, you can't tell me that releasing pedophiles have remorse.
Child sex traffickers, and they're now out on the streets all over again. Thank you, Governor. Thank you, Governor's Parole Board. Thank you, State of California. This is what you guys have voted for.
We have got to get in touch with all these people that they're writing down here. We'll send them a message. We want this to happen. If our gun rights have been, if our privacy and our safety been put in line, then we should have the right to open carry and defend ourselves at any moment without any due cause, that's what they call it, right? Because the Attorney General has just put at risk the lives and the safety of California gun owners. Our privacy has been breached. When are we going to stand up and fight and say enough is enough? Because guess what? If somebody broke in my house right now and I shot them, I'd be the one going to jail. Forget that they broke into your house. Forget that they committed a crime, because all of a sudden they didn't commit a crime. I committed the crime. And that's what their theories on open borders is, and we need to stop this, and we need to stop it now.
Yes, I agree. I think you've said just pretty much about everything that's going on in the state right now. I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot to digest for every single one of the individual Californians that are out there. But again, I think it's disgraceful how they're flaunting our budget, how big our budget is, how big our budget surplus is, but they're not even giving 10 billion of that to us. So like, if they're flaunting a $300 billion dollar budget and a $100 billion surplus, that's $400 billion. So out of $400 billion, they're only willing to give back $10 billion to the California taxpayers. They're willing to waste the rest on progressive agendas and failed projects such as the high-speed rail. So there you go. That's the failure.
Max, what is the rally on July 3rd at the Capitol? Do you know what it is?
I'm unsure, honestly.
All right,
I've
so
heard that there's going to be a rally down over there.
So what I want everybody to do here, I have a good friend. His name is Aaron Bates. He runs Boots on the Ground Cali. Go to their website. Go to their Facebook. They are a patriot group who also helps veterans out. It looks like they're having a rally July 3rd at the state capitol. Let's get that information out. Let's get people out there to support Buddha on the ground. Kevin Kiley doesn't know the constitutional carry means I asked him in person. So here, that's your problem. Kevin Kiley running for Congress, a Republican, assemblyman, does not know what constitutional carry means. That is half of the problems, folks. This is killing us. We have got to get the right people in line. We have got to get the people who are lawyers, are running for office. If they want to stand and fight, they need to do it now before they're in office. Oh, I'll do it when I get in office. No, BS. We've heard that enough. You want to stand up for California? Stand up now. You want our votes? Come earn them. Come stand with us and fight. Fight for our constitutional rights. Fight for the people of the state. Fight now, not later. That's like, can I have a cheeseburger today and pay you on Tuesday? No. I want my money today. I want you to stand up and show me what you're about. And if you're willing to fight for me, I'm willing to vote for you. But if you're not, then you're not going to get my vote. It is time that politicians earn our votes. Stop giving your votes away. They're like money, people. Let's get these people to defend us.
They're a bunch of clowns running for office. I would debate them all on stage, and I would love to see how competent and capable they really are, because I think a lot of them, they're not very competent and capable. That's why I'm dying to be able to run for office, because the moment I can, and the moment there's a vacant seat somewhere or something's up, you know that I'm going to be considering that. You know what? Like, let's say next year there's a vacant assembly seat where I live. Okay, then I'll run for it. You know what I'm saying?
You know, somebody just put a comment down here, and I appreciate the comment. Says, I think the possibility of open carry in California is an impossible dream, and that's optimistic. I agree. But guess what? We won't know till we fight for it, right? We don't know what it was. Freedom for the slaves was a dream. It was never going to happen. And guess what? They fought for it. The unions got together. They actually allowed blacks to be part of the union, to be free. And guess what? Their freedom came. Women's rights were impossible. They never even thought about them. Guess what? Women have freedom and rights and everything else. It happens. Everything that seems like a pipe dream, stop thinking it's a pipe dream and start thinking, I will fight to see if it is a pipe dream or not. And that's the difference. We can think it's never going to happen, and it won't happen. But if I think it can, and it will.
Everyone thought socialism was just a dream, and now here we go. It's come onto our shores, and now a lot of states in this country are accepting of this ideology. Some states are fighting against it, but there are a lot of states. One is California that's accepting it.
Somebody else wants to come on. Give me 1 second. I got a few minutes. Let's put this person on. Let's see what we have to say. I invite, they declined. It's okay. They may have made a mistake. I invite everybody on the show. You know that, Max. Anybody wants to come on this show, this is a freedom of speech show. I don't care what side, left, right, in the middle, wherever you're at. Come on here. Say your point. Why? Because that's what made America great. That's what made our freedoms what they are. That's what the Constitution of the United States is. Everybody's choice and freedoms. And that's what this show's about. That's why I call it Waking Up California. Not Republican, not Democrat, but everybody is welcome to come over here and do what we need to do. We need to get Latinos and blacks communities on board with fighting for gun rights, since the reason why our rights were restricted because they wanted to stop black folks from carrying. I agree. We need to get everybody on board on this. I'm Latino, I'm Hispanic, I'm an immigrant, and I am standing in the forefront, and I will do what it takes to get this heard by a Supreme Court judge. I will go out and I will rally with each and every single one of you guys for this. California needs to be an open carry state now that our privacy has been given away. We are no longer private. We are no longer concealed carry. We are now targets of people who want to commit crimes and take our guns away. It is time, California gun owners, to stand united. Democrat, Republican, Independent, Libertarian, I don't care what you are. If you own a gun, you need to come on board, because this affects each and every single one of you, and it also affects us in our future and our kids and what this country is going to stand for and what the great state of California is going to. Because guess what? It is time that we fight for our freedoms.
Yep, I totally agree with that. So I'm just going to close with this, is that, you know what, we don't know until we fight. Like Diego said, it's like, you can make all these presumptions, you can make all these assumptions, make all these assumptions about, oh, it's not going to work out, oh, it's never going to happen, but you don't know until you fight for it. I mean, there are probably a lot of Californians who may be on board with what you're thinking about. One, for example, is concealed carry. We have some of the most strict gun policies here in California, and I'm not sure that every single Californian is in line with those ideas.
Well, I think this, Max, and we're going to close out the show now because I got to go. It's been, I actually kind of went over the time on KMSF DB Radio out of San Francisco right now that we are airing live with them. I forgot their commercial break. Sorry, guys. But this is something more important than a commercial break and a word from our sponsors. We'll get one next week. We'll probably put one at the end of the show. But I got to tell you guys this. These are our freedoms and our rights that are being taken away from us. Not only that, this is our privacy that just got taken out and put everybody in danger who is a California gun owner. They're also trying to figure out how to make you conceal your weapons even worse. Even at home, if you have a display case, even with the cable and the wires, and you have it legally, you will no longer want to do that because somebody sees it, they steal a gun from you. It wasn't the burglar, but it is your fault. We have got to get California back to being a constitutional state. If Gavin Newsom wins, we don't know what's going to happen for the next 4 years, but I can guarantee you this is not going to be good for conservative people and people who actually want a better state. California, unite with me. Come together. Every gun owner out there, come together. The list that you can't carry a certain gun because of a certain thing is BS. Other states can do it. A 9mm is a 9mm, a 45 is a 45. It shouldn't matter. Stand united for this because we are going to go and we're going to fight. We are going to fight for our freedoms to be able to open carry. We will do a lawsuit against the Attorney General for violating our privacy and our rights and our information and putting us at risk. If that's the case, then we should be able to open carry. That is what I'm about. That's what California needs. My name is Diego Martinez. My friend Max at the bottom here, joining me this week on Waking Up California, airing on all social media networks, also on KMSF DB Radio out of San Francisco. My name is Diego Martinez. Waking Up California is the show. I will see you guys next week. Same place, same bat channel, 10 a.m., Waking Up California. Let's get people out there that go to the militia, California gun owners. You need to come on this show next week. We need to hear from you. We need to know what's going on. We also want you to stand behind us when we do this lawsuit against the state of California so we can actually obtain and own our Second Amendment rights. Till next week, thank you for joining. Max, have a good afternoon, buddy.